so excited that you're here. I'm opening up chat to get access to all the questions. Okay. Hi, Danny Palmer.
Hi.
Welcome to the soundstage. Again, welcome back to the soundstage.
Yeah.
The last time we were in this space, it was a very different layout.
Yeah, I do. I like this space. I like that when I was here last time, it was for a commercial recording.
Yeah.
And I like how flexible this has become. This is cool.
I'm trying. We're trying.
Yeah.
All the things. Oh my goodness. But welcome. Yay. January. Holy moly. It's Friday, end of January 2026 already. Almost tomorrow. But still.
Hi. Welcome, Jay.
Oh my gosh. Hi. Good morning, everybody. First of all, fun fact, a lot of people know you from the master classes and workshops we've been doing over the last year, which I can't believe it's been a year of doing your master classes, but they haven't met you in person. And so I'm really excited that you're here in person.
And we have a master class
tomorrow.
That's unfortunately sold out.
It is sold out, but I know. I
would love to invite you.
Yes. I thought about asking about
it.
spectator spots, but maybe what we'll do is we're definitely going to record some content from it, and no, it's going to be fun. But next time, it'll be remote. But, you know, what's cool about the remote sessions, the remote classes, is that's exactly what it would be like when you book a job with a client right now.
Yeah.
Is it will be
True.
The client will be patched in. You'll maybe have 10 to 12 people on the line, which is wild, and everyone will be chiming in with critiques and thoughts, and yes, so always helpful. So even though you won't be here potentially for the next masterclass, you'll be patching in remote, which is a great experience, just to get a real feel of client experiences patching in. Yes.
So, good morning, everyone.
Oh my God.
My name is Danny.
Happy
It's
Friday.
wonderful to be here in person and not do one of these remotely. The entire thing we've been talking about this entire month has been where to begin as kind of a concept, and I like that question a lot. As an artist, as a commercial artist, it is an interesting way of asking yourself, like, at what point have I begun something, and at what point do I want to continue doing something?
Yeah.
Lots of ways to take that question. I would love any questions that you might have about what it means to begin something.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a question for you. When when we talk about beginning things as an artist or as a commercial artist, you can talk about like where what drew me to this kind of work, or you could talk about this is what got me into the industry. Like, what is there any like firsts that stand out to you in your career, like a jumping off point? You could talk about the soundstage for one.
Yeah, I mean absolutely. I mean, I think it's funny. I'm gonna go way back.
Yeah.
I remember I was very fortunate as a kiddo, and I was in an art school. It just happened to be a magnet school where I was living at the time in Charleston, South Carolina, Ashley River. It was rad. We got to learn about theater. And I remember getting, and I swear this is wild, but I remember getting a feeling in the palm of my hands. It was like a tingle sensation, and I was like, this is amazing, right before I went on stage. And I said to myself at like 5, 6 years old, if I ever am doing this and I lose that feeling, I don't have to do it anymore, and that's okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I remember then in high school, we had moved to Hawaii, and I had an incredible theater program there. I was so lucky. And I remember again, that feeling and going, oh, there it is, every time before I got on stage. And I just kept doing it because I never lost that feeling. And then I remember hearing about audiobook narration and voiceover work and getting into the first time I ever set up my home studio, which, by the way, talk about where you begin, is a closet. A lot of people are like, oh, your home studio is amazing. It sounds so
A very
good.
common,
It's, yes.
like, a lot of people don't realize, like,
I know.
people record in closets.
I mean, there are reasons for this. Even a walk-in
Shelby
closet.
Young records in her closet.
Right. I mean, it's not because, oh, it's a small, quiet space. I mean, people record in walk-in closets because there are clothes hanging all around them. It's usually just a quiet space in general, but the clothes help dampen it and make the sound beautiful.
Oh, Jay.
Yes. So I'm in a closet at home, and so I'm in a closet at home, but I remember sitting there for the first time in that space and got tingly palms and thought, ooh, that's exciting because it's not theater. I'm not on stage. I'm not on camera, but I'm getting that same sensation. And to me, that was the first time I'd experienced that, physical reaction to doing something I love, not being on stage and going, this could work for me. This could fulfill me creatively and make me happy. And I think that is one of the most, this sounds silly, but most important things you can ask yourself when you are starting out with voiceover or audiobooks is, again, this sounds really silly, but do I enjoy this? Am I having fun? Because a lot of people have incredible voices, and that doesn't necessarily translate to, can I make this a career? A lot of people who want to get into audiobook narration, which is a longer form of, voiceover work, it's long form. You're sitting there by yourself, maybe in a closet where it's a dark, quiet space. You're by yourself for a long time. Make sure you like it. Make sure you enjoy it. And also make sure that you can sustain that, especially with audiobook narration. Make sure you can sit there in a quiet space by yourself for a long period of time and read and enjoy this and find it rewarding, because otherwise you'll get burned out, or it's okay if that's not for you. But
I actually do think that's huge. Like, finding ways. I mean, we do happen to live in a time where art can feel very easily very transactional. Mm-hmm. And regardless if it's commercial or performing or whatever, and I do kind of, there is something about the fact that we need to remind ourselves that not every part of our artistry needs to be transactional all the time. Yep. Even as being commercial artists who deserve and will get paid.
Yeah.
There needs to be a part of it that we can remove from the transaction.
Yes. And you have to remove that initially as the actor, because it might take some time before you're making money at this. A lot of it is auditioning. I was asked recently, so talking about where to begin, I was asked recently, a friend of mine was interested in pay-to-plays, and that comes up a lot. And, I have lots of thoughts about pay-to-plays. I had never really used them until recently as kind of I'm getting a lot of questions as a studio owner about pay-to-plays, so I should really know how they work. There are algorithms to all of them, which is bizarre, but also to my brain fascinating. But what I will say is, someone said to use these pay-to-plays, to use these platforms, even if it is a free option, how often are you auditioning? And I basically said, as much as possible, as much as I can without burning out. It's the hustle. When you are doing this, if you're trying to do this full time, or, in addition to life, I was a stay-at-home mom, and my kiddo would nap, and I would hop in the booth and I would record as much as I could. You are constantly auditioning, and you're not getting paid to audition. But In a way you are, because that audition is going to book you the job, and then you book it and you get to play. And that's what we're here to do, is play.
I do hate how much I quote this, but Bryan Cranston has an amazing,
I love him. Yeah.
you know, thesis on like what an actor's job is.
Yeah.
And, you know, he talk about like he's in LA, you know, he started so early.
Yeah.
And would be like kind of like the least hustly voice in the room, you would think.
Right, yeah.
But he's like, no, your job is to audition. Like,
Yep.
that's an actor's
Yep,
job is to audition.
exactly.
And he's being a little glib about it.
Yeah.
And I get that, because that's not all an actor's job is.
Right.
But I think the point that he's making is that that is how you have to treat it.
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
That is his kind of Yoda, there is no try moment. Right? Like,
right.
The point is there's lots of trying.
Yeah.
But you have to see beyond the point. And yeah, I mean, I do kind of think that he is a little right when it comes to the fact that you need to find a way, and that's going to be individual for every single person,
Yeah.
to mash up your desire to get the work with hustle and treating
Yes.
that in a healthy way.
Right, exactly. I mean, you can very easily burn out let's be real. November, I hit I know what burnout means. At the end of November, early December, I hit burnout for the first time, like, truly in my life. What, like, I think people define as you just did too much, you did too many things, and you can let that happen as long as you can recognize that you still find joy in what you're doing. I had to take a step back and go, I'm exhausted, but holy shit, I swore, sorry. I can't wait to get back in the booth and record again. And that is something else, by the way, that I will say. Voiceover and audiobooks, it's not for everyone, because, again, you are in kind of typically a small space, like a closet. Make it your comfort zone. I know this sounds silly, but I have people who have spent a lot of money and invested because they are so talented on camera, on stage, and then they close that closet door, whether it's like a sliding closet door, LA, or just a little closet door, and they're in this teeny tiny space, and it's just mental health wise is not the best fit for them, and that's okay. But figure out.
And huge to realize when
Correct.
like an art form is doing that to you.
Yes,
and
correct.
you need to back off.
Right.
Huge to realize that.
Or recognize it and turn it into a place of comfort. So I know this sounds silly. I almost actually, Kelly Love, who is amazing, yesterday we were kind of reorganizing the studio space and everything, and I had a bag of stuff I was just going to bring home that didn't need to live here, because I practically moved into the studio in December to record an audiobook. But I almost brought home my singing bowl, and she goes, no, that needs to live here, because you use it because you need it here.
Love that.
I know.
Love that.
And again, I have someone who was like, yeah, I can't bring myself to like sit down at my desk and record auditions because it feels like work. But she's so talented. And I was like, make it not work, make it fun. Figure out a way to create a comfort for yourself, whether that's purple audio foam in the vocal booth that I have next door, whether it's cool mood lighting, whether it's a singing bowl sitting there to ground you again.
I do love
Yes.
Fonzie's sentiment.
Yes.
Yeah, that the booth can also feel very, very kind of like comforting.
And it does. It does to me. I have people who... And so, yes, please let it be comforting for you. It's a place to create art. It's a place where you, as an actor, as a person, need to feel grounded and settled so that you can feel relaxed enough to put forward your best work. That sounds more dramatic than it needs to be.
No,
yes.
not at all, actually. So I want to get the chat.
Yes, I just saw this. Hi.
And I will say this is kind of the one thing we're doing today. And I like these kind of Q&As because it's normally just a few of us here.
Yeah.
It's early in the morning. thank you for joining and making some time in your day. I hope
know.
that whatever you do today is kind of exactly what you need it to be. I mean, this is a trying time to say the least. We know kind of like where we stand as a studio, and I hope that whatever you do today, it is life-giving and delightful. That's what we're putting out into the world today.
Yes. And I will say just real quick that we have decided to close the studio today, just to support everything that is right in the world and everything that is challenging in the world, and just say it's hard as artists, and I'm this word is weird, but I'm an empathetic person, and so I sometimes can take on very, like, to my core as a human, everything that's going on around me. So I think it's important to treat this day specifically, January 30th, 2026, as we need to. And so also I just want to say thank you to everyone who pivoted today as we rescheduled things. But yes, I mean, going back, though, to your point, it is important as actors, as people, that we do create a safe space for ourselves, even if it is in a closet at home, to find joy and comfort and just a grounded sense of self in the place where we are creating art. It shouldn't feel necessarily like work. It's a hustle, but also find joy in it. Auditioning.
Both of those things could be true at the same time.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
You need to be able to treat it like a job, and also like be able to fall in love at the same time.
Yeah.
I want to start with Jay's question.
Yeah.
He's been so patient.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, hold on a second. Is learning in the DAW. Okay.
Oh.
So you start out with Twisted Wave.
Yes.
I have actually never heard of that.
Oh.
Very user friendly.
I know Twisted Wave.
But knowing is editing correctly and having the levels right. Sure.
Can I just, like, really quickly say something? And this is bizarre. I am an exception, I think, sometimes when it comes to the tech side of things. One of the top at least 5 reasons people don't pursue voice acting on their own as a career or a side gig is because they get intimidated by the tech stuff. And I find a lot of joy in the tech side of things, which I know is not common.
Okay, but let's go back.
Twisted Wave. Yes.
Let's go. Let's start with, learning a DAW is difficult. So
it is,
and we don't all have kind of like that the joy you just described for it.
I know.
So in what ways would you describe, or how would you recommend someone starts to learn something that maybe is like a little grating, it's like, hey, I don't know where to begin learning this, right?
So something interesting, I have, everyone who's been into this space knows I have a love-hate relationship with Audacity. Audacity is free, and it's open source. It's an excellent place to start just because there are so many guides online. First of all, there is no pressure. Seriously, I was pressured when I first started to get Pro Tools. Everybody kept saying, well, Pro Tools is the industry standard, so Pro Tools. No, it wasn't for me, and I felt this pressure to learn it because everybody was saying, well, that's the industry standard. Use what works for you. It used to be, before COVID happened, I don't care what you record on as long as the end product sounds great. That should still be the case. If you're using, I know I'm going to say this, but I don't care if you're using GarageBand. Whatever works for you that makes it easier, makes sense for your brain, and that you understand is great. Twisted Wave is very popular in the UK, and it's now getting popular here. Twisted Wave is cool for a lot of reasons. Again, so DAW, by the way, taking a step back, I always say it wrong, but I always want to say digital audio workstation. Desktop audio workstation I know, but a lot of people say desktop audio workstation. But it's whatever. DAW is just what you are using to record your audio on. I happen to use Adobe Audition. because it's what I learned on. And when I opened this studio, I sat here when this was a different configuration and I wasn't really busy yet. And I was like, what am I going to do today? I'm going to learn a new DAW. And I tried. I tackled Logic Pro. I used Pro Tools. I dove into Audacity. And by the way, YouTube, there are people who have incredible online videos, free, love free stuff, free resources on how to learn any DAW as well as you can. Punch and roll recording is a thing that is a term that you can Google and learn about if we don't have time to get to today. But every single DAW has that incorporated into it now, whether it's a free plugin, whatever. Use what works best for you. There is no pressure to learn something new. I spent all these hours learning new software, hardware, plugins, all of it, and went back to Adobe Audition because it's what I knew and it's because I was fast at it and I didn't want to waste any more time.
Sure. I'm going to get to...
Yes.
These are great questions,
I know,
by the way.
back,
Okay,
but...
so I'm going to go really quickly into Fozzie's question. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Simon, that's my son's name. I like it. Okay.
Hi.
Thank you. Hi.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong when it comes to the fact that Logic Pro at this point does kind of feel like it's a learning piece of software.
Oh, you're a Logic Pro user, yes.
It used to not be like that. When Apple originally bought Logic, which was in the late 2000s, Logic was an incredible piece of software. It was kind of along the lines of I don't know. It had a few more comparisons. It was very much used for kind of for music making.
Right.
It was not really kind of looked at as for anything else outside of that kind of production. I will say right now, you don't really see production shops use Logic.
Yeah.
A lot of reasons. Apple's kind of a hard ecosystem to invest in. Adobe, everyone kind of has in commercial and creative arts. Mm-hmm. So it is a little bit easier to buy in that system. Pro Tools, very, very much the same thing.
Yeah.
Like if you are doing any sort of spot that is going to broadcast,
right,
it's being mastered in Pro Tools.
Right. That does not mean you need to have
No.
that in your home.
No.
Yeah.
So I will say, I will say, yeah. That's it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to actually your question, for the purposes of what you are working on, it really goes back to, and Jay, I have not forgotten you.
I have it.
We're
I got it.
I
got you, Jay.
going to talk about this. It really does go to what you're comfortable with. These
Right.
are all kind of different, honestly, flavors of the exact same thing.
Yeah. Yep. It's whatever you're comfortable with. They're all doing the same thing. What I will say, though, to touch on especially what Jay said, is I get asked a lot.
Yeah, no, let's bring this up.
Yeah.
Because it's a great question. Is, you know, you've listened to tutorials. You are doing your research.
Yep.
You don't know if you can trust your ears.
Right. Here's the deal. Things have pivoted a bit. It used to be that you would submit your audition and it wasn't an expectation at all. It wasn't even in your brain that you would be recording the booked gig in the same space that you recorded your audition. Your audition was literally just to show them what you sound like, how you can deliver how you're analyzing the script, how you can deliver their text the way they're asking. However, now they are starting, in the past few years, they are starting to listen to your studio space for quality purposes. They want to make sure that, okay, if I don't have to pay for a studio and I can just hire you to record from home, is your quality good enough? What I will still say, and I might be wrong, but I still stand by this and I tell everybody this, please just know that your final file, you can't undo the engineering you've done. So if you over-engineer and over-compress or add filters to your audio file, and it maybe doesn't sound like you, maybe it sounds great, maybe it sounds like your best self. It's no different, honestly, this is going to sound weird, but it's no different than like an over-photoshopped headshot. You want that headshot to look like you. If they booked you off the headshot alone, you want... when you walk in that room, you want it to still look like you, or they're going to go, whoa, you don't look like your photo, and we hired the person we saw in that picture. We want to make sure when we're submitting these auditions that it still sounds like you. So less is more. You don't want to over-process. You don't want to over-engineer your audio. And it's all troubleshooting. I mean, honestly, it's going onto YouTube and watching videos. It's learning how to use whatever workstation you're using, whether it's Adobe, whether it's Logic Pro. I actually really like Logic Pro. It's visually very intuitive to use. But again, Audacity is free and it's great. Because Audacity is open source, there are people who create plugins for it that are free and can very easily clean up your audio. I'm going to tell you something interesting. I was helping engineer someone's audio the other day, and they asked if I could, use some filters and make them sound amazing, and I did. They sounded great. And then I applied some noise reduction just as the final step. And I was like, okay, which that should never be your final step, but whatever, I did it. And I went back and listened, and it was longer form narration. It completely distorted the file.
Yeah.
And so some of these plugins, some of these tools are maybe meant for that 15-second audition, but not meant for you to use on a longer, anything over 60 seconds clip. So just be careful. I think yes, of course we want it to sound as good as it can, but we also want it to still sound like us. We want it to sound like how we're going to show up that day. Yeah.
Otherwise, we would be using AI for
exactly.
This stuff.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I will say this when it comes to like any sort of like plugin or anything like that, especially when you're learning programs.
Yeah.
Is or filter, I guess is a better kind of category. Is that filters are shortcuts for things that you should know how to do.
Yes.
So when you apply a noise gate, that's a very technical way of approaching a waveform, right?
Even this might be going over heads, like
maybe, but or okay, let's say if you apply anything that like makes your photo a little bit better, for instance,
just like Photoshop. Yep.
But that is doing stuff like that's adjusting exposure, that's adjusting like a black point, that's adjusting a white point, and it does help when you kind of know at least a little bit what the program is trying to achieve, what a filter is trying to achieve, instead of just applying it.
So I want to say something important about all of this. There's a reason photographers, when you go in for a headshot, ask you if you're doing your own hair and makeup or if you're hiring someone to get your hair and makeup done.
Yeah.
When it comes to audio, and this sounds so silly, but I get it. There, equalization, compression, normalization. When do I use all of these mastering tools? You want your audio to sound as good as it possibly can from the start. And that way, you're working from a great level, and you aren't necessarily putting Band-Aids over everything. I mean, fun fact, behind me, this wall behind me, I have this beautiful space. I love this room. Do I record in here ever? I mean, we record podcasts. Do I record on a condenser mic for like big clients where I need long form audiobook? No, because the women's restroom is on the other side of the wall and there are toilet flushes. I have HVAC. When everything's not happening, it sounds great. It sounds amazing in here. But I can't control everything. You want your space to sound as good as it possibly can to begin with. And if you need help with that, that's where you want to spend your time and money. Don't spend your time and money on a post tool that's going to put Band-Aids all over your not so great sounding audio. And that does not mean invest. By the way, I say this all the time for a reason. That does not mean spending thousands of dollars on a whisper room, a Studio Bricks, a vocalbooth.com booth, which I love. I'm obsessed with that booth. It's dreamy. I love it. My home studio in my closet, for whatever reason, I mean, there are reasons, it's science, sound better than that next door because of location, my studio space. So be thoughtful when you're thinking about where do I set up. I have a lot of people, by the way, who are like, I live in a studio apartment. I don't have a space to record in. Yes, you do. Yeah. Be strategic. I don't care if it's a corner of your bedroom. If you are strategic about how you treat that space, treat it with love and kindness. I'm just going to treat it with high quality foam. If you have to put, I always, it's like, what is it? MDF. It's medium density fiberboard. I don't know. There are all these pieces of equipment that you invest in once that just help you create a beautiful recording space. My home studio is a tiny closet, but I happen to find a space in my home that has no exterior windows or walls. The vocal booth next door, by the way, is amazing. However, vibration. There's a lot of construction happening right now outside of this building. The vibration of the construction picks up in the booth because it's an environmental vibration. So what I'm getting at is you can have the best software, hardware, all of it. You can have the best mic in the world. If your space to begin with is not good enough, I mean, it doesn't have to be amazing, but if you're not recording in at least a treated space, you're going to be working way harder than you need to make this audio sound good. You don't really need to do a lot in post if you're just auditioning. And
that is kind of going back to Jay's question.
Yeah.
You know, talk about EQing and compression. I mean, I can say this as a producer.
Yeah. You probably have a very different take, but
it would bum me out if you were thinking about that. I want you to think about the read.
There you go. Yeah. So good. That was great.
And that kind of goes back to why it's okay. If we're in production, I'm expecting something different. When you're auditioning, I want to get to know you as an artist and as an actor and as a voice actor.
Yeah.
I'm not checking if you're clipping digitally. If it sounds
I hear
like
a
that,
dog barking in the background.
Yeah.
Do I care? If that's what the client is paying attention to, we have other things to worry about.
It needs to be all that stuff should just almost be invisible.
Right.
Is kind of the goal.
Yeah.
For production, I would have a different opinion on this for production, but we're not talking about production. We're talking about auditioning.
Right. But here's what's interesting. So that's where I go back to 5 years ago, they didn't care what you were recording on. They didn't care what your engineering skills were. Things have changed.
That is true.
There's a difference, though, in terminology. Audition quality studio or broadcast quality studio. Nobody, and unfortunately this has changed, but I still stand by this, nobody should expect you at home to have a broadcast quality, retail ready studio. So when you are saying as the client, I don't want to worry, I want to worry about getting you from the read. I want to, hear your acting abilities in that read. I'm not worried about room tone or audio levels or, if you were too hot on the mic.
If it hasn't come across, I'm a Sensi creative. You know what I mean? Like I check out of production details pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So,
but what has happened, unfortunately, this is just the way it is. What has happened is people are asking, they're starting to say, ooh, the quality on that was terrible. I can't listen to it. They're next. No, you need to make sure, be proactive. Say, I'm recording in my audition studio. I have access to a broadcast quality studio, if that's the case. And then that's why I keep my rates reasonable here for actors, because I know, but like, really, this is silly. That was why I created this space, because I have this awesome home studio, but is my husband recording? Do I have two children, two kitties, a dog, and a turtle to deal with, and neighbors who are all retired. I'm in a cul-de-sac of retired neighbors who I love. My clients don't love them. I could not find a studio when I booked a gig to record in. And here's the deal. Just be open with them. Say, this is my audition. If you like my read, I have access to a broadcast quality studio. And then they may not even care, because you were so phenomenal in your audition that they're like, we have a team of engineers. Don't worry so much. Again, I said this earlier, but one of the big reasons people don't pursue this as a side gig, as a career, is the tech side of it.
I would kind of agree with that. Again, I do, going back to your first question, Jay, which is about the learning curve and not being able to trust your ears.
Yeah.
I do think you can trust your ears.
Yes.
I do think if you,
and I know you now. I feel like don't get in your own way.
I think if honestly, one of the things that I like to do is, and I'm not a voice actor. I'm not any sort of actor, but but one of the things I do for my own artistry is that I think is helpful and kind of like calming if you're having that kind of like anxiety, but like, I don't know if I can trust what I'm putting out into the world, is putting it in situation or in situ. So if you have, for me, that means like, I'm going to make a dummy Instagram account and put all my like drafts on there.
Yeah.
And just see it on my phone. Yep. And see what it looks like to watch this long form spot on my phone really quickly. Not just on my phone, but like in the app where I know it's going to be previewed on. I think a great kind of comp for that when it comes to voice acting is maybe like listening to it in a car. I know a lot of musicians do that. Noise gate or nose floor.
That's good, Jay. That's perfect.
That sounds
that's great.
Dope as hell.
Yeah.
I love that.
And just make sure, if the noise, a lot of people are turning their gain way down so their noise floor hits a certain spot. Just make sure on whatever mic you're using that when you're turning the gain that low, you're not losing the tone, the resonance in your voice. I've also heard some, this is crazy,
That's
but
great.
Make sure your mic is set, you want, 6 inches from pop filter splitting the difference. I had someone recently say my mic is about 12 inches away from me, and so why is it sounding the way it is? I'm like, wait a minute, no. When you're putting your mic that far away and you're turning the gain way up, there's that much room tone, HVAC kicks in between you and the mic. Dynamic mics are different than condenser mics, just throwing that out there. But with a condenser mic, you want, which is what you do want for voiceover and long form narration, audiobooks, e-learning, all of that. This is a dynamic mic. You're going to get right up on it because that's what you have to do. Condenser mics, make sure that your gain is set at a level that works for you, that also reflects a good noise floor but isn't compromising your tone.
Fauci, I like I
yeah.
like I like that point of view.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, that is honestly, we do have to at a certain point
Yeah.
be, we can be our own worst critics all the time, all day
Oh,
long, but we got into our various creative fields because of taste,
right.
because we trust our taste,
Yes.
and that is a job that is going to last our entire lives. But we do need to remember to trust that.
Yeah,
Like,
and I also will say it's okay to reach out to someone and say, hey, will you give this audition, will you give my audio file a listen? There are
oh,
people who
hell
online,
yeah.
by the way, like George, he goes by George the Tech Whittam. He used to, God, 15, 20 years ago. By the way, his videos are incredible. If you are at all interested in learning different digital audio workstations, if you're interested in learning about the tech side, he makes it accessible to actors who maybe have the tech brain or don't. It's so good. He's so great. But he started years ago for free. Now I know he charges, but for free, he used to let you upload your audio file and
Oh,
he
and
would
do a little
judge it.
critique.
Yes, and he would say, hey, send me a photo, send me a copy of your audio file. And I say that to everybody. I'm happy I can listen to your audio file. I like doing this. I'm a
You kind of know
nerd.
in like five
But in
seconds.
5 seconds, I can look at, but I need to be able to see it. So you can't send it to me on Facebook. You have to send me an email. I'll put it in my system and go, I can see exactly what's going on. I can see what that noise floor, that's a hum. Do you have a refrigerator that's making a hum near your mic? Whatever it is, HVAC.
HVAC.
Yes. But also, I can tell you if, maybe that's not the right mic for you, which rarely happens. Yes, somebody mentioned the NT1. I love Rode. I used the NT1A. You guys, like, seriously, my friend, I love you, Cody, award-nominated audiobook narrator, like, big deal guy, I still can't say this without laughing, used a Blue Yeti, nothing else, and Reaper. Finally upgraded from Audacity to Reaper. Reaper was not for me either. I don't know why. Everybody uses Reaper. It just wasn't for me. That's okay. I know a lot of people who use it. You pay once and you own it. That's great. But no, he, for 10 years, used a Blue Yeti mic with a Reaper connected, or with the Reaper program, connected right to, he didn't have a preamp or interface, connected right to his laptop, not a Mac, award nominated, brilliant, has like over 200 titles on Audible. Again, we aren't here to be tech gurus. We're here to produce a solid product. If you are talented, you have a good enough mic and a good enough space, the post-production team will work it out. Bring you to it and don't get in your head about the tech stuff.
I do kind of realize that we are.
I know
we
we're
are
talking
living
a lot about tech. Sorry.
No,
But it's good. It's good. These are our questions.
Not even what I was gonna say.
Okay, sorry.
I do kind of realize we do live in a kind of like age and kind of an artistic culture where everyone like needs to be good at editing, or everyone needs to be like know what room tone is, for instance, right? Like where that used to be almost
I know.
something that audio professionals lived in. If you have an Instagram account, you do need to kind of know this. So I do respect that we are living in a time like that. However, I will say when casting, care way less about that. And
it's so good to hear that.
I do think that is still true. Like
Yeah.
it is true. It is true that when you're casting for a video game, when you're casting for a spot, honestly, that the it is still true that you are just you need to be good enough to remove any hurdles that feel like a technical error. You need to be able to, not have like your like room tone like present.
Yeah.
As long as that's the case, I do think that is still more important than if I would never. I would always cast to that as opposed to
Right.
my, sound designer said like this is not audition quality. It's like I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
At all. At all.
Yeah.
Like that is. So I mean, take that for what it's worth. I know we're.
It's so
oh my
helpful
gosh.
to hear, though.
We are
Yes.
running out of time. And
I know, but it's very helpful to hear, I think, especially from your side of things, that we don't have to be so concerned about the tech side of things. We
better not, because we're not on camera right now.
No, we're not. Shut up. Oh, no signal. Look at us. See? Here's the deal. I'm going to start my video on my iPad. Hi, here I am. Yeah, I mean, again, it's the idea that don't let these things stand in the way of you doing the work.
Correct.
Yeah, we're in a weird time where we are suddenly being asked. Signal is back, thank you.
Let's go.
Yes, we are being asked as actors. Look at self-tapes, for example. We are being asked as actors to be full filmmakers and producers, but that's okay. It's not okay. Well, I get it, but that's okay as long as you stay true to the art of it. Don't worry about recording a self-tape on your phone. Dude, I recorded an audition recently on my cell phone because I didn't bring my mic with me when I traveled.
Yeah.
And I was shortlisted. And
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it, but
I can.
I can't. I mean,
100% can. Honestly,
they
I do not think about audio quality unless it gets in the way.
right. And unless they are asked, don't ever lie.
Because I can control that.
Right.
I can control.
Exactly.
I can control. I know. Say we're doing like a deep monotone voiceover. I'll be like, okay, we're going to Digi 1. It's going
There you
to
go. You're gonna
sound
book
like
a good studio. Yep.
it's going to like sound like we recorded it in like an amphitheater, which is
Right,
the sound
right.
I would want for that.
Right.
Like, you can control that. Honestly, you need to be more concerned about like the art and
Right.
and intention.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'm alone in saying this. I want to work with other artists and professional artists that know what their intention is going into a project. And I would rather, you need to be able to show that through your voice. And I realize
Right.
that's a hard thing to do, which is why I'm not a voice actor. But that is kind of the job, going back to where we started.
Yeah.
Brian Kent said auditioning is the job. That is the job. You need to be able to convey in this abstract kind of like milieu that we call auditioning,
Right.
that you have made a choice. It doesn't need to necessarily be right or wrong.
Right.
It just needs to be a choice, and
Yeah.
I need to be able to see it.
I talk a lot about that in the weekly workouts. I mean, I really dive in when it comes to script analysis and the choices and perspective, and you have to do the actor work. And as you get, first of all, audition as much as possible. Quality aside, I don't care.
No, you're putting out a body of work.
Yeah,
like
that's your practice
to
too.
do it.
The
You need
more
to do
you're
it.
auditioning, the better you're gonna get. So yes, I mean earlier I was talking about those pay to plays. Like I audition as much as I possibly can.
And you book a lot.
But-
You book a lot.
Thanks. I don't feel like I do, but like you kind of do. I mean,
I see your calendar. You book a lot.
but it's fun. I am a weird one who enjoys auditioning, but it's because it's become fun. I don't think I enjoyed auditioning. Well, no, I don't know. I'm weird. I enjoyed it when I first started.
I will
but
say
yes.
this: we're beginning to wrap up.
Yes. Oh no, we are close. We're 10 minutes. Any other last minute questions?
Any last minute questions?
Yes,
Again,
here we got one.
I know that we are.
Yes.
I know that we are. We're closed for the rest of the day.
We sure are.
I hope that again, whatever you do today is feeding your soul, is feeding justice.
Yep.
I also hope if you are in the Portland area, much like I am right now, that and have some time tomorrow evening that you join us for our community happy hour.
Yes.
And then there's also the Bricks or
Brett's Base Fund
yes, thank you.
tonight, Christina Haddad's event. It's going to be a magical, incredible
And
evening.
again, fundraiser,
yes, fundraiser,
community.
yes.
Yes.
If you, for whatever reason, need assistance with tickets or it wasn't on your radar, please reach out. I mean it. I'm happy to help you with tickets and get you in that door tonight. I am not the most social butterfly out there, but
I am.
I will be there
So
tonight.
if y'all
I'm so
see
excited.
me, I will introduce you to the room.
Yes, no, I want it to be magical.
Jay
and
has a
wonderful
question
tonight.
about
yes, I
best
love
avenues
this question.
for VO work.
Yeah.
This is a you question.
This sure is. So there are.
And we'll wrap it up
yes,
after this.
we will. But there
Thank
are
you.
a
You
lot
guys
of,
have been.
Yes,
I mean,
this
I know
is so
this is
great. I know.
kind of intimate. We're talking to a camera,
know.
but like we are looking at, and I love this. And
Yes,
yeah,
and also
I hope I get to see some of you this weekend. So.
You sure will. Yes. So I think it's interesting in opening this studio, especially. I knew that there were a lot of different avenues to voiceover, just because I've been trying my hand at many avenues for many years. But I don't think I realized that not a lot of people knew how many different avenues of voiceover there were. And not all of them are for everyone. And that's okay. I always say, and I know this is weird, but I always say, just like theater and film, they're both rooted in the same foundation. It's all acting. It's just a different medium. Voiceover and audiobooks are two completely different industries. I know people who are just audiobook narrators and they don't do any voiceover, any of the avenues, genres of voiceover. They just do audiobooks, and that's okay. And then there are people who only do voiceover and want nothing to do with audiobooks, and that's okay too. The best thing to do is try them all and see what you enjoy. See what you are having fun with. See what makes you smile. See what gives you the tingles in your hands.
Can I? We've talked about this on one of the Q&As before when we've done it remotely. The kind of dirty secret is that there is not enough voiceover work for every voice actor out there.
Especially in this market here in the Pacific Northwest, but yes.
Even
in general,
globally,
I know.
like you can apply that to every audiobook, every spot, every video game. There is not enough of that type of work for every voice actor that exists.
Right.
So, what do you do with that? To me, it puts upon the importance to not have your artistry so tied to a medium.
Right.
Honestly, like I know people who are, I would include myself in this, like photographers, but you don't call yourself a photographer. Like you have that artist bone in your body, and you want
that
to,
would be me.
and you want to flex it as
Have
often
fun.
as possible. So if voice actor is what you want, like that you want to be capital V, capital A, hell yeah.
Yeah.
However, what I would recommend is to then also spread your artistry out a little bit. Find out what other, maybe it's on screen acting. Maybe it's honestly like building your own stuff, like building your own studio or building your own project. Maybe it's producing. Whatever it looks like, the important thing is to have a body of work that represents what you want to put out into the world. The form doesn't necessarily matter, especially when you consider that, again, you're probably not, unless you're Christopher Pratt, and this
I know.
honestly sucks to say.
Oh.
I hate that.
I know.
You're not going to make retirement money on voice acting, and you don't need to.
Yeah.
You need to find a way to have that be part of you that you're putting out into the world.
Yeah. And your art supports the other art you're doing, which I know sounds obvious and weird, but honestly, any on-camera work you're doing, any auditioning for on-camera, any stage work you're doing, that is only going to help improve and strengthen your work behind the mic.
100%.
Yeah. And so you have to be strategic. When you are a working voice actor, you're doing all the things. You're I know people right now who are working voice actors, but they also go to Comic-Con, all of it.
Yeah.
They go to, anime conventions. They have content on YouTube of them in the booth, behind the mic, at the conventions. So now they're a content creator and they're monetizing that. They are, doing behind the scenes footage of their booked gigs.
As
and
long
then
as
they're writing.
as
like
long
all
as
of
it feels like
Yeah.
as long as it feels like you, that
Yeah.
is the goal.
Yes. And so a lot of people right now want to get into animation and video games, and I love that. It's hard. That is a very hard industry to get into, but be strategic in going on into Instagram, social media. Follow those you're listening to and admire, comment, like their
Be
stuff.
a part of that
Yes,
conversation.
join that
Yes.
conversation, join that community, be strategic. I mentioned Discord recently a lot. And that's a new one. That's like 6 months new to me. Not Discord as a whole, but using it to get work. Just because
Huge. Discord
it's huge
and the
right
voice
now.
acting community on
Yep.
there is very large.
Yeah. Aw, you guys are so sweet. This is great.
Okay, we honestly,
3 minutes.
you all, I will say this, you all made this morning like totally worthwhile, like totally
Aw.
worth the trip. This has been a lot of fun. I love doing these from my home studio in California, and it is just even better to do it here. So I
Yes.
hope whatever you do today, I hope you is life-giving. And if you are feeling so inclined, if you're in the Portland area, I hope you join us
Yes,
tomorrow night for our community
night.
happy hour.
Migration
I will
Brewing.
say this. I don't think Migration knows how many people are coming.
We
I
are
do
gonna
think
bring that place down. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's gonna be
we
great.
have
I'm gonna probably give them a call today and let them know we have like 70, maybe 70 people.
not the
coming.
worst idea in
No,
the
no,
entire world.
I know.
But have a great morning. Thank you so much
It's
for
gonna
joining
be so
us.
much fun.
And
Thank
we
you,
do these,
Danny, for being here.
and we do these every month, and I hope you continue to come.
Yes,
to the next
and if
one.
you ever have questions, feel free to, reach out via email, on Instagram, yes, and spread the word.
Thanks,
yes,
Lindsay.
this is so wonderful.
All right.
So thank
Have a
you
good morning,
so
everyone.
much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.